Hey everyone, I just got done reading a book about anti-gravity, and I gotta tell you, it was really hard to put down. I need the drum and cymbals. So, we are going to be working on the third section of Unit 3, which is special exponents. This section is either really, really easy or really, really hard, depending on how you get the most basic concept of exponents. If exponents is something you feel really comfortable with, this will be an easy section. If it's not, I would recommend maybe going back and doing some practice before we get into this type of stuff. Okay? And actually, just like Mr. Schmidt always says, fractions are actually a million times easier for these types of problems, and I'll show you why. If we're given something on the inside here squared, that means just like, 3 squared is equal to 3 times 3. 1/2 squared is going to be just 1/2 times 1/2. And we know through fractions that if to do this, you would just multiply across the top. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. And that's it. That's the whole problem. Down here on the bottom, it's the same idea. We would do 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3, because it's cubed. 2 times 2 times 2, well, that's 8. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And with these types of problems, they will almost never be able to be simplified. So that's our answer. And we're done. Fractions are really, really easy here. So I'd like you to try, I'll do 2 of these, and then you should do 2 on your own. So for this one, 3/4 raised to the, it's a 0 though. So anything raised to the 0 except 0 is 1. So that one we're done with right away. The other one here, 1/4 squared, well, that's going to be just 1/4 times 1/4. Well, 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. And that's it. I would like you to try the 2 bottom ones on your own. So this becomes 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3, which is 1 over 27. 3/5, just like this. 3 times 3 times 3, we've done a few times, is 27. 5 times 5 is 25, and now we can do the quarter trick. So 25 times 5 would be 5/4, which is 125. And just like most of these, that cannot be simplified. Okay? Now, fractions are really easy, but decimals are a bit tougher. Okay, I'm going to show you the long way to do it first, and then I will show you the shortcut. Okay, and both ways are about as difficult as each other. So if we had this 0.2 squared, that's 0.2 times 0.2. And to do decimal multiplication, we have to do it like this. Okay, which ends up being 4. But there was 1 decimal here and 1 decimal here. I think there's a collective. Oh, I remember that. So that there's 2 decimals total. So that means we take this and we move 1, 2. So we have to add in a 0, and so we're left with 0.04. Okay, so you have to do it the long way, this method. So 0.05 would be 0.05 times 0.05. Now, one of the tricks you can use is, since this had 1 decimal place twice, that means it's going to be 1 plus 1, or 2. This one had 2 decimal places twice, so it's 2 plus 2 means there will be 4 decimal places. So you should know how many you have before you start. So now we have to do 0.05 times 0.05, so we know there are 4 decimal places. 5 times 5 is 25. Everything else is zeros, so we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 zeros in here. 0.0025. Okay? Now, the shortcut, actually, I'll start here to show you the shortcut. And then we'll use the other problems. So, the 2 things we need to know. Number 1 is how many decimal places there will be. So if there's 1 here squared, that means there will be 2 decimal places. Okay? And there's their decimals, so 2 spots. I know that 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so there needs to be a 4 on the very last spot. Well, then the rest of it gets filled in with a 0, becomes 0.04. Down on the bottom, I know that's 2 decimal places squared, so there'll be 4 decimal places. So there's the dot, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that 5 times 5 is 25, so that goes as far to the right as possible. And now there's 2 decimal places like that. Okay? That's a shortcut that I like, not mandatory though. So for these problems, I'm going to show you the shortcut because I already showed you the longer way. Now I know that there is 2 decimal places here cubed. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I go 3 cubed will be 27. So that goes all the way to the right, 27, and I fill in the rest of these with zeros. So it's 0.00027. Now you are more than welcome to do it the long way. So you do 0.03 times 0.03, get your zeros, and then do it again. That will work. It'll just take longer. Down here on the bottom, we have 1 decimal place plus, or 1 plus 1 plus 1 would be 3 decimal places. I know that 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 again would be 64. And now I add in the 0 right there. So it's 0.064. Okay? So try these 2 on your own. And then that's it. So for this one, there will be 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. 9 times 9 is 81. There are no zeros to put in, so we're done. Now at the bottom, there will be 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so 8 times 8 is 64. And there will be 2 zeros here and here. So 0.0064. And this will be 0.81. All right, that's it.